Hello everyone, this is British Culture Institute Mamak branch support division, and today we are going to talk about present simple versus present continuous. As you see, they are both in present and we're going to show you the differences between these two times. So, what's the difference? First of all, in time, present simple shows the actions that happen normally and generally every day, maybe every week or every Saturday. Present continuous actually happens exactly right now. Maybe 1 minute later or an hour later, that action is not continuing. This is what happens exactly at the moment. Right now, we are going to show you the differences in making a sentence and structure. Simple present, as you know, all the sentences in English start with a subject, so subject in here is I, and as you know, every verb in English has three forms, so for making a present simple we need the first form of that, and these are the objects and the adverbs of time which are at the end of the sentence. So every day here is showing that the action is being done every day. Not just today, not just tomorrow, but every day. So this is something general. This is something normal that happens every day. So the second example, you as a subject, like as a verb, and bananas as object. So the first form of the verb without any prefix or suffix or without any auxiliary verb will come into the sentence, and it shows us something happens generally and normally. But for third person like she, he, and it, we need to give s or es to our verb in order to show it is a simple present with third person subject. So this is a new rule actually in present simple, but such a rule cannot be seen in other tenses. They have their own rule. And for es, you can say he goes to fitness center on Sundays. As you can see, this is not only one Sunday or two Sundays. It can be so many Sundays. It is something that happens generally, and this es is because of he, which is a third person subject for us, and because of that we use goes. But for present continuous, we have something like am, is, and are in the sentences. Then we add an ing, which is showing the progression of the action. And at the end, as you can see, we have something like now and at the moment, which means right now. It doesn't mean that maybe next month, next year, even next hour, you will continue doing that. Because maybe 1 minute later, the action is finished. As an example, as you know, the subject is I with am is collocated, then read as the first form of the verb with an ing. So I am reading. What is the verb here? The verb category is this. This is our verb category, and it came exactly after subject, and this is at the end, which is our object, and now shows this action is happening now, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next hour. You is our subject, are comes collocated actually with you, and watch is the first form of the verb because watch is a regular verb, and all the three forms are like this: watch, watched, watched. TV at the moment means now, they have the same meaning. And as you can see here, he, she, it is doing, and he, she, it, as I told you, they are third person, they come with is, the first form of the verb, and ing, homework, now. So, present simple, as I told you, I, you, we, and they come for the first form of the verb. So simple, it doesn't need to receive anything, it doesn't need to show any other thing, we don't need to add or remove anything, just we bring the first form of the verb and it is read. For the third person, as I told you, if we have a third person subject like he, she, it, or any name or noun related to third person, we use reads. In present continuous, our main verb is plus an ing, but I with am, you, we, and they with are, he, she, and it with is. This is the rule of present continuous. Then our main verb, which is read here, should have an ing to show the progression of present continuous. So as you can see, in one of the lessons, we have already talked about adverbs of frequency like usually and always and often. These adverbs actually show we are doing the action generally, like usually, always, often, on Fridays, and every day. It doesn't mean right now, at the moment, we are doing something. If we come to right now and at the moment, which is for present continuous, we talk about ing form of the verb. But here, no, it needs just the first form of the verb, which is the simple form of the verb. For making a negative sentence, we should use do and doesn't for simple present. Then I will tell you where do and where does. So in negative form, don't and doesn't. And for present continuous, we use am not, are not or aren't, is not or isn't. There is a question here. Why amn't is wrong? Yes, this is wrong because we have nothing like I amn't reading. Amn't is not abbreviated. There is no short form for that. It must be I am not or I'm not, exactly like this form. So anything like I amn't is wrong and it shouldn't be used in English. For negative form of present simple, for I, you, we, and they, we use don't, read, as I told you, the first form of the verb. And for he, she, it, we use doesn't because they are third person. But there is a very important point here, and that is read. We do not need to put s here anymore. We do not need the s here. He or she or it doesn't reads. That is wrong. He, she, it doesn't read. Why? Because while we have doesn't here, it shows our third person for the subjects. We do not need to have two forms. I mean, doesn't and reads. Reads is true if it is a positive sentence, if it is an affirmative sentence. So, read doesn't need s because there is doesn't here. We don't need doesn't and reads. One of them is enough. And what is the rule? The rule says that doesn't is enough. So we take and delete the s or es from the main verb in simple present for he, she, and it. In present continuous, this is so easy. We don't need anything. We have am, is, and are in the sentence. So we just add not or nt as the abbreviation to the sentence. So I'm reading a book. I'm reading a book is affirmative. I'm not reading a book is negative. Just we need to add a not. You, we, they aren't reading a book now. This is negative but affirmative. And normally, what was it? You, we, they are reading. Are reading. This is a positive affirmative sentence. But while we add nt to the sentence, it will be negative. And the last one, he, she, it is. Normally, he, she, it comes with is reading a book now. If we add nt to the sentence, it will be negative. Just for simple present, in negative form, we add, I repeat it again, we add don't and doesn't. Because this verb in affirmative sentences and positive sentences is alone. There is no other auxiliary verb with that to change it to negative form. So what we need is just bringing and adding a new word to that, like don't for I, you, we, they, and doesn't for he, she, and it. So now, as you can see, it can be a good practice for you. So you can make these sentences negative. I like fish. This is simple present because there is no am, there is no are, no is, and no ing. I like fish. While there is no am, is, are, and it is a simple present, how should we change it to negative? With don't and doesn't. I don't like fish. I don't like fish. Here, this is she, and it is a third person. So there is a likes here, and this s shows it is a simple present. There is no am, is, are, there is no ing, so for making a negative we need doesn't here. She doesn't like, not she doesn't likes. While we add doesn't to the sentence, doesn't shows the third person itself. So doesn't is enough. We delete this s and it will be she doesn't like bananas. She doesn't like bananas. You can just look at the next one. This is present continuous and it is telling I'm reading. Now it has am with I, it has ing with the verb, and now. So for changing that to the negative form, you need to bring a not here. As I told you, I amn't is wrong. You should say I am not reading now. So we don't change any other thing. We just add a not here. The change is only in simple present with s because we have doesn't. While we have doesn't, we don't need to have s. We will delete the s from here. This is the only change in negative form. But for present continuous, there is no change. We just add a not. I am not. They aren't, or they are not listening to music at the moment, because at the moment shows that this is a present continuous, ing shows this is a present continuous, are with ing show they are present continuous sentences. So you can check all these sentences and change them to negative form, and if there is a question you can contact us and ask us if there is any problem. We are here to help you. So this is the difference between simple present and present continuous and negative form. Now there is another practice. As you can see here, you can pause the video, look at these sentences, answer these questions, fill in the blanks, and then you can get back to us, show your answers, and if there is any problem we can help you. So you can easily pause the video here and answer to these questions. This one also, there's another practice. You can pause the video here and you can answer to these questions based on simple present tense and present continuous tense, and then get back to us if there is any problem, and also we can check your answers and fix any issue that happened in your mind for simple present tense and present continuous tense. Now for the question form is something like negative form. Somehow they are the same, but there is no not, and there is a very small change in that. For present simple, we use do, does for question form. And for negative form, as I told you, don't and doesn't. Don't and doesn't for negative form. But for question form, we need to bring do to the first of the sentence and does also to the first of the sentence. As I told you, when we have doesn't in negative, we don't need s or es. It will be deleted. In question, this is also true. If we have does at the beginning of the sentence for question, which is a yes-no question, as I told you, the answer is yes. Yes, this is a yes-no question. We don't need s or es at the end of the verb as well. So for question form and negative form in simple present, we don't need s or es for the verb when we have does or doesn't. Does to the beginning of the sentence for question form, and doesn't before verb for negative form. How do you answer it? Do you like pizza? Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. Does she or he like, not likes, fruit? Yes, he, she, it does. So I repeat this sentence again. Does he or does she or does it like fruit? Yes, he, she, it does. What do you do after school? This is a WH question. How can we make a WH question? This is so easy. You can bring WH word like what, when, where, how, what time, anything like that, to the beginning of yes/no question. If you delete this what is the rest? Do you do after school? This is a yes/no question. This is a normal question. Do you do after school? We added do to the first of the sentence for a normal question. For a WH question, then we add another word like what to the first of yes/no question. That's it. So let's come to another practice. We're going to make questions. For example, you listening to our music now. This is a normal sentence. Okay? So it can be changed to question form. How? By bringing are to the first. Are you listening to music now? Or does to the first. Does he like bananas? Why does? Because it's he. And there is no S or no ES because there is does. So you can put these words also in correct locations and you can get back to us to check them for you. And if there is any question, you can easily ask us. That's it. So if there is anything you want to know and if there is anything that you have a problem in, easily you can contact us via the website. This is British Culture Mamak Branch Support Division.